please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Neeraj Kumar Gupta, the Secretary of DIPAM, the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, joins us on the phone line. Good morning, Mr. Gupta. You should be a very happy man today, as would be, of course, any citizen. But this is an overwhelming response you have got. Will this, merit another offer from the Bharat 22 stable?
Well, the present offer is still open, and it is open for all the categories today. I'm sure everybody is going to take advantage, especially the retail. It is a wonderful product, very balanced over 6 sectors and 22 companies. And you must have seen all the blue chips from public sector enterprises, 3 big public sector banks, and 3 companies which are one of the best rated companies in the private sector, which are also on the offering. With a 3% discount and almost zero expense ratio. There cannot be more attractive than this for investors, and I'm sure the investors will take part in the growth story of this country.
So, Mr. Gupta, good morning, sir. I think you're now comfortably past the halfway mark in terms of the yearly target, the divestment target of, I think, what, 72,500. So, what's the strategy, sir, now for the rest of this year? Will we see, let's say, BEML go through? I mean, these are cases where the in-principle approval is already there. Now, how much of this will actually come through in terms of numbers in FY18?
See, actually, we don't see the numbers first and start working after that. We always remember that there has to be a strategy in pipeline for divestment, and we should really execute deals at a fortunate time. Targets are definitely given for the best endeavor, but we work in market environment which really dictates how to go about it. So I really cannot predict what exactly I can do immediately. I'm sure strategic divestment, where in-principle approvals are there, all other tracks are progressing well. And I assure you, wherever there is an opportunity, we will not be lacking behind.
But Mr. Gupta, if you can give us some indication of when the government is next likely to tap the market, and what might it be? Will it be an IPO? Will it be an OFS?
Lata, you are the expert of the markets, and you want me to discuss market-sensitive information on channel. Please excuse me, I won't be able to discuss timelines for that. But rest assured, all the deals which are in the public domain, they are definitely on the radar of the
But they're more likely to be OFS, offer for sales, rather than IPOs. Can I take that as an indication?
No, not at all. This is not my indication to you at all.
Okay.
But definitely IPOs
all right. Okay, sir.
Are already there in already there on cards.
So, sir, one thing we'd like to just ask you, because we were having a conversation with the BEML management just yesterday, simply to try and understand how quick this will be or whether it will take time. They gave an indication of almost a year for the strategic stake sale. Would that be within the ballpark of, the time that you're looking at as well?
No, I won't be able to discuss with you the progress on specific cases. But in-principle approval was there, and but there is a lot of due diligence has to go into. It's only in-principle approval. The final approval yet to be given.
But you are saying IPOs are also lined up in the next few months.
You definitely know that over a dozen of companies are lined up for IPOs.
Okay.
So I'm sure there is a lot of activity in the store, but opportunate time, right moment, we will definitely enter the market.
And we should definitely count the ONGC purchase of HPCL as well in this year's...
You have to check with the ONGC, who are aspiring to, they are the dream acquisition of ONGC. They become the 6th largest company in the world. The government in principle has approved that we will consider their offer. Let the transaction mature and materialize. You cannot really predict the transaction before it is concluded.
But we should count it... sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Gupta, good morning. I just have one question. What would be the unique selling point of this ETF? I mean, for someone, for example, who's invested in CPSE ETF, while I agree that the return from the listing has been good, but it's not been blockbuster for a market like this. So what would be the unique selling point for Bharat 22 ETF?
CPSE ETF has own traction. It has nearly 67% weight from energy and power. So it is a more sectoral focused, riding on the success story of CPSEs, which are now being governed by very prudent capital management policies and investment servicing issues. So that's why you see the dividend and yield from CPSE stocks are much better than the benchmark Sensexes also.
Okay.
But this ETF is a very balanced ETF, balanced over 6 sectors of growth of the country. All the 6 sectors are driven by major economic reforms of the government. And definitely the reform agenda, as it is unfolding, and you have seen in financial sector, in power sector, in many other sectors, as it is unfolding, it will bring upside in these stocks also. The performance of these companies will also, I'm sure, will improve if the sectoral performances improve.
Fair point.
So this is a product which is balanced over 6 sectors. There is a cap on weightages of each sector. There is cap on each product. So now you have very well diversified risk over 6 very prominent emerging growing sectors of the economy, which are really, if you see, only IT and pharma are missing, but they are largely export driven.
Okay.
All of the 6 sectors are domestic driven. So you are becoming partner with the Indian growth story at such an attractive price with 3% discount.
Fair point.
You can't really ask for anything better than it, and expense ratio almost zero.
All right. So can we ask you how much is the divestment kitty reached?
I have never counted it so precisely, but we are touching 38,000 crore, excluding this ETF.
So 72,000 should be easy, or you'll even beat that number?
All targets are very ambitious and have to be really worked upon. And I really cannot say what is easy or wrong, but we are really geared to do whatever best we can.
Sir, just a question. I'll take my chances here. A lot of talk about the merger between certain entities like STC and MMTC. Can you give us any indication? I mean, is there any other strategic M&A that the government is planning before perhaps going out to the market with some of these already listed stocks, PSUs?
Look, I'll take you back to the budget announcement, where large policy on mergers and acquisition within CPSE space was announced by Honorable Finance Minister. The very thrust of that policy was that if there is an economic rationale and there is an expansion of business and economic activity possible through this route, the CPSEs which are sitting over idle liquid cash or possibility of access to money, they should look into the possibility of acquiring more business and expanding more economic activity.
Okay.
This general prescription was there, and there was a statement that such opportunities seem to have existed in oil and gas sector, where you are seeing one intent from ONGC acquiring HPCL.
Sure.
Meaning thereby, if there is any other company in the CPSE space has economic rationale for acquiring another business entity, and which logically expands their area of operation, business, and logically expands their economic activity, Government of India, in principle, will support such a move.
Fair point.
So you can look for many such possible activities. They are to be governed by pure board decisions of the CPSEs, which are quite autonomous in their functioning. And government will look into each case on merits and will support if it is possible.
Fair point. Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta, for joining us and revealing whatever you can reveal at this point in time. That's the Divestment Secretary, DIPAM head, Mr. Neeraj Gupta. Clearly a feather in his cap with this overwhelming response to Bharat 22, the public sector offering.